Committee has for the past week been vetting ministerial nominees for the second administration of President Akufo-Addo. Now, should ministerial nominees be passed based on English proficiency or expertise and knowledge of the ministry? Today, we are out to ask the public what they make of ministerial positions.
I think it should be given based on both, because the reason being that an expertise is more important to us, because look, comparing Ghana to other countries right now, Rwanda was fighting the genocide within 2000, but I realized that Ghana has been independent for 63 years now, almost 64. But I realized that Ghana is still developing, whereby Rwanda is now almost developed. I get it. Comparing Ghana to Rwanda, we have all the resources, as we normally say. We have gold, we have timber, we have all other resources. But I realized that these resources are not being utilized. So I think if the ministerial position must be given, it must be given both on expertise, people who have the knowledge, people who have the ideas to improve the country.
So, I mean, it will depend. Maybe if you are, say, a Minister of Communication, definitely your English proficiency should be taken into account. But then also, since you're going to be a minister like serving in a very highly specialized industry, say like innovation or technology, you should perhaps know a bit about what you're doing. You should know, you should be a bit proficient in the technology that in the sector that you are going to like be handling. If not, then you should perhaps have managerial skills, because perhaps all you need to do, because the person who is the minister doesn't need to be all that innovative, I think the people working under him, so he should be able to manage the people that he's working with and things like that. So it's actually very
we are in a country where personally I have problems with the educational system. Our educational system that we've sets us on unnecessary competitions. So personally, when I was in JHS, I had a student, a classmate, who was very good with a lot of subjects. He was always leading the class, but when it comes to the speaking of English, he wasn't that fluent. But when it comes to the writing of the language, he was that fluent. So if you are going to judge him based on just the speaking of the language, you always judge him wrong. I believe that appointing someone to your committee, giving someone a ministerial appointment, doesn't necessarily mean the person has to be fluent in English speaking. The person has to be aware of what is going to do, her aims or his or her aims, whether the person knows the policies that she or he is going to implement. I think that is what we should. But as Ghanaians, we always think that when the person is good in speaking good English, that the person can perform better. Those who speak good grammar, we've known them in this Ghanaian politics. They speak good grammar. When you give them the job, they perform very bad. So I believe that we should look at the competency.
It needs to be based on the English language, because as a minister, you are one of the icons the country is looking at in your respective discipline. So for example, if you are a minister and then you have an appointment outside, you need to read the terms and the conditions that come to the appointment. You need to have a fair idea and knowledge about it. So you can't just, as a minister, just not understand the English language. It should be part and parcel of the position.
These are written in English. So if your knowledge about the worker, the knowledge about the work is also on the paper in English language. So it should be both. Yes, because if you cannot read what is on the paper and impart it in your knowledge, then that cannot work.
So the appointments of ministerial positions. Okay, so I think it should be a blend of you being proficient in the speaking of the English and you having the capacity to execute the ministerial appointments you are being appointed to. Because you can't be appointed as a minister if you are not proficient in the speaking of the English language. Because how can we take you outside to, as in the country, to go for a conference or anything? And you have to have the capacity to execute the job in which you are given, because even though you can speak good English and you don't have the capacity to do the work you are being appointed to, I'm not sure it could work for us.
Subscribe now.